They say to you, hi, hey, Malema wants to do away with borders. Hey, Malema is going to bring people here. They are going to come to South Africa. One, there are no borders in Europe. There are no borders in Europe. You can wake up in Italy and go and eat breakfast in Britain. I come from Limpopo. There's no border between Limpopo and Gauteng. And Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. But the people of Limpopo have never left their homes to go to Gauteng, because people always go to where there is richness. That's why they are going to leave Nigeria and come here. To come and do what?
Hello everybody, welcome once again to AfriPost. I believe wherever you're watching us from, you're doing great. Now in today's video, I want us to talk about the question of borderless Africa with regards to what Julius Malema is saying. You know, as I've always been posting some videos about Julius Malema in this channel, most South Africans have come at me and said that they do not want the question of borderless Africa. Why can't those Africans also go to another country? Because it's like they're filling up their country. But I want us to really understand what is the rationale or even the motivation behind this kind of talk. Because most Africans think that once they have their borders with what they call their country, that is their personal property and that nobody from outside should really get into it. One thing you must understand is that we are oblivious of the fact that the partitioning of Africa in 1884 during the Berlin Conference really changed everything. And that is why before most African countries received their independence, Kwame Nkrumah said that Africa's true independence cannot be achieved unless we remain one and remove the borders that we have. But this is something that was opposed by some leaders, and therefore Africa has continued to remain a country partitioned in different aspects depending on who was the colonizer in specific regions. But this has really worked against us, because if you look at the intra-African trade, we are not doing great, because even as our regional blocs like ECOWAS, SADC, even ESC have been formed, still African countries do not really trust each other to trade with each other openly as it was envisioned in the Vision 2060 that was there to really push Africa to be a borderless continent and a continent that really works towards having a single currency and a streamlined financial structure. I want us to listen to Julius Malema in this video, where he's kind of explaining to South Africans why Africans from different countries do not pose a threat to South Africa if there is a borderless Africa that is adopted. Kindly watch this video and then let's talk about it after the video.
They say to you, hi, hey, Malema wants to do away with borders. Hey, Malema is going to bring people here. They are going to come to South Africa. One, there are no borders in Europe. There are no borders in Europe. You can wake up in Italy and go and eat breakfast in Britain and have your lunch in Spain. No issue. They have no borders. But they say we must have borders. But let's look at this thing that they keep on saying, that when you move the borders, people are going to come to South Africa because South Africa has got more resources. That's why they're going to come here and destroy what we have. It's not true. I come from Limpopo. There's no border between Limpopo and Gauteng. And Gauteng is more richer than Limpopo. But the people of Limpopo have never left their homes to go to Gauteng, because people always go to where there is richness. That's why they are going to leave Nigeria and come here. To come and do what? They will never come here. They've got their own beautiful homes. And even if they wanted to come, there was nothing that was going to stop them. Nothing was going to stop those people from Lesotho, because there is no fence. This is a lie. It's a myth. It's a dream to say we're divided by a fence. Is not true. There's no fence. Those people of Lesotho go to Free State to drink alcohol. It's Saturday today. Ale tapama fella in the afternoon, but I love bina pina soto, but well. What are you talking about? Same thing in Swaziland and Mpumalanga. Same thing with Mozambique and Mpumalanga and KwaZulu-Natal. Why didn't those people of Mozambique move en masse to go to KwaZulu-Natal? Because we are being told here, if you open the borders, these people will come here. There are no borders. It's a gate without a fence. Imagine in your home, more front, more front. Auna fence, marlebele gate. That's what we are. So, scientifically and practically, if those people wanted to come here, they would have been here. It's a lie that they will come in here. It's not true. There's no fence. Mashaba went to Zimbabwe border there now. And he says, yeah, Malema. He's talking absolute nonsense. He saw for himself. There is no fence. But there are still people in Zimbabwe. They didn't leave Zimbabwe to come to South Africa because there is no fence. It's not true. It's not true. But anyway, everywhere in the world, including America, it has always been built by migrant laborers. This economy of South Africa that we're speaking about, if you are going to account for it, you won't exclude the people of Mozambique, of Malawi, of Zambia, of Botswana, of Lesotho. For Johannesburg to be what it is those people. That's where the language Fanaka law comes from. It confirms that different nations were working underground to take out the gold and diamond that made South Africa to be what it is. The EFF did not invent Fanaka law. Where does Fanaka law come from if these people just met now? They came now during EFF. Our people have always been together, with or without the EFF.
Now, if you listen to Julius Malema in that video, you'd really understand that he is very, very well informed about effects of borderless countries in terms of having a regional engagement where there are no borders or restrictions that limit people from moving or even conducting economic activities from one region to another. And case in point, Julius Malema gives us the question of Europe. And he says that in Europe, you are totally free to move from one country to another once you have a citizenship of any country within the European Union. And therefore, it is something that Africa should really adopt. He says that these Europeans are the ones who colonized Africa. And after colonizing Africa, they divided us into different partitions to allow the ease for them to really take up resources from our country. Right now, they are really propagating the division that is seen in Africa right now. They do not want Africa to come together. And if you really understand this, you would note that that was one of the main reasons why Colonel Gaddafi was taken out. Gaddafi was of the opinion of having a United States of Africa, an Africa that is self-sufficient, an Africa that can fully trade with itself, an Africa that does not have any borders, an Africa that is not controlled by the West. Look at it. We are, as a continent, Africa, joined together. But each section of our continent is being controlled by people living in Europe. This really is not something that us as Africans should really be accommodating. We should come out and really condemn this. And that is why, to my South African brothers, as I always keep saying, let us really embrace this thing of having a United States of Africa. Let us embrace this thing of borderless Africa, because this is the only way we can have a better existence within our continent. This is the only way we can have improved economic situations in different parts of our continent. Ask yourself this. Each of our country is blessed differently. There is a country that is good in production of, let's say, sugarcane. There is another country that is good in the production of maize. There is another country that is good in production of wheat flour. There is another country that is good in production of rice. If we work towards trading with each other and providing our resources to each and every part of our continent, then I can tell you that Africa will be food sufficient. Africa will be well developed, and Africa will industrialize, because If you look at even the natural resources that we have in our countries here, Europeans are really coming here in droves to take it up and then go and manufacture them into finished products, then resell it to us. And I can tell you, what they even sell to us are the residues, not the top quality part of it. Look at even the coffee that we are drinking here. We don't drink the first class coffee, yet we are the producers of coffee. So this is something that as Africa we should really look into it and then find a way through which we can be proud of ourselves and we can work towards ensuring that our continent rises and rises high. Because without that, Africa will remain doomed, Africa will remain poor, and Africa will remain neglected. We must also give our leaders that space to really implement what they are coming up to implement. For instance, right now, look at somebody like Captain Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso. He is doing some great development there, regardless of the French attempt to really depose him of his position. But he is a young leader having this true spirit of Thomas Sankara and fighting towards ensuring that his country can be self-sufficient and can really be counted and sit in the table among League of Nations where countries are talking. Let's all support Julius Malema and all other Pan-Africanists who are of the opinion that Africa must rise and Africa should be respected. This will begin by having a borderless Africa, an Africa that really is self-sufficient and trades with itself, and everybody is considered equal regardless of the country or which part of Africa you are coming from. I don't know what you think about this, but if you're watching us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and also share. Remember to also share with us your opinion down in the comment section. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless you. Goodbye.